maps are representing what? Maps represents the graphical information, isn't it? I mean to say, geographical representation of a day. Okay. What is this? The map is informing about geographical representation of the day, isn't it? Geographical representation. And one more thing, guys. One more important point here that we need to keep in our mind, please. Okay. These maps can be applicable. Okay. Maps applicable on what? Only on geographical dimension, but not on others. You can take a help of the dimensions and the measures. I agree with that. But what is the criteria that you should have? Look at this. When I select a map, okay, example, what it is referring? Look at here. Here, the nodes. Okay, one geo dimension is compulsory, and 0 or more dimensions. 0 or one measure. So, what is the mandatory element here? Which means the geographic dimension is mandatory. That is what we have to think that. See guys, the tab is 0. See, how many nodes also will give you? Okay, like 2 or 4 measures, 0 or more dimensions. See, okay, one day. That is what. This is user friendliness you can observe. Okay. So what is the catchy point here? The catchy point here is we supposed to have at least one geographic dimension is compulsion to define a map. Okay. Only with the help of geographic dimensions we can deal with the maps. Yes. Okay. If you don't have a geographical dimension, you cannot define a map. I'll show you right away. For example, you have what? Something like order text, right? And something like you have segment, some measure, example. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, what happened here? Of course, the here he is considering is the magnitude of. So what happened? See, what happened here? Look at this. Why this graph is disabled? Because in the sheet level, I mean, say the column as well as in the row level, you don't have any, something like I can say like you don't have anything like geographic dimension related stuff. That is the reason it was disabled. Okay, so make sure that you are having geographic dimension. Define the. To define what? Define what guys? Mapping functionality, which is compulsion. Don't forget that. Okay. Now, here we go. So what am I going to do now? Look at this. Let's say I'm going to choose as country. Fine. See, it is enabled here. Okay. Country and state. Okay. Here it is. Now, what you can do in a simple. Now look at this. Simply just need to hit on this. Okay. What happened? Symbol map. What is that? Symbol map. Which means with the symbols you are getting these icons, right? This is what symbol map. Now, do you want to represent the naming convention? If that is the case, look at this. States. Okay. Country. Okay. You want to reflect the tables? See, you have it here. Now, do you want to define it anything as per the sales price? Look at this. See, sales price. What happened? Okay. Look at the sizing. Okay. Size. See, what happened? Whatever the huge volume you are having, it is showing it in a bigger volume. And whatever you have less units, it is showing in a smaller. So this is what? What is that guys? Map symbol. Symbol map, sorry, not map symbol, symbol map. Where it is showing you with some sort of symbols. let's say I would like to have top 10 sales, top 10 sales. Now look at this. So just drag and drop a filter. Okay. Or else we can do one thing. So top 10 countries we will take it in this way. Now look at this. Top 10 states. Okay, look at this. Top 10 states. Based upon what? Based upon sales. Look at this. Top 10 states which is dependent on the sales levels. See, you have only top 10. Look at this. Okay. So in this way also you can apply a filter. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can apply a filter on top of this maps. Okay. So this latitude and longitude will be generated by the tool itself automatically. And you know what, guys? You can ask me a question. What if in a source level, if I don't have this kind of a map data, absolutely you cannot derive this kind of a, no doubt about it. You cannot, absolutely. So your source should have this kind of a data. Then only the tool is having the intelligence to identify whether it is what kind of a nature of a data. So based upon that, give you the results. See, we have top 10 results. Now do you want to see the top 5? If yes, look at this. Can you see again? Top 7 seconds. Now look at this. We have top 7. Okay. So you can play around with this. Right there. This is what? What is this? Symbol map. Now, there is also one type of a map called, okay, another type of a map called filled map. What is that? Filled map. What is this? Filled map. Either you can choose in this way or else simply you can do one. See, to define a filled map, you have 3 approaches, guys. One is marks. Marks in the sense, what is the mark? This is what mark. Marks here. So simply you need to select the spelling. See what happens? Top 7. Top 7 states based upon the sales. Yes. This is one thing. Or else. Okay. Or else you want to start into this one. See, here under show me you have one. So this is also okay. Again, a filled map. Dual maps, or not dual chart, dual map. Okay. Dual map purpose is what? If you observe clearly, different dates with respect to or else you can do one thing. See, multiple measures again. Isn't it? You can also do like this. So dual maps also can be achieved, but for that you need to have a specific measures for it. Okay? Automatically it is swiping off because if you don't match with the measuring criteria, I mean I'm saying the rule criteria, whatever you have it here, you automatically swipe it on its own way. Right. Anyhow, the dual charts and